Hello crypto cats, my name is Tom, I am the crypto investor and it's time for our weekly market roundup. As ever we start with the heat map and you can see that for the second consecutive week we are red. We've got Omicron to blame for this. So we have Ethereum down 7.6%, Bitcoin slightly more, 8.3%. Other alternative layer ones also bleeding out. Cardano down 20% and DOT 17%. AVAX turning around after its massive run the last few weeks, down 12.8%. Luna holding up pretty well at the moment. And Polygon Matic, we've had some news which will, and a few points that will show you why Matic is doing very well. That it's not down considerably on the week. We have Crow continuing to look pretty strong with their layer one solution and extensive advertising budget, and still we're seeing the likes of Sand and Gala and other gaming and metaverse tokens holding up fairly well. All right, let's get into the bubbles. And so ENS looking very nice. So this is the Ethereum naming service. Hopefully some of you got the airdrop for that and maybe bought some more after we discussed it. I think this governance token I think will continue to do rather well. BAT out of nowhere has suddenly had a 50% week. I've looked into it and it seems it is more of a technical break rather than any kind of news catalyst. And Gala, my goodness, this is up something like, well, in fact, we can just quickly check here. Gala is up 590% on the month, 200,000% on the year, up to 45th. Pretty hot, pretty spicy right now. Wouldn't be aping necessarily into this after such a huge move, but I haven't gone deep into this project. I'm sure it's an excellent project, but my goodness, has it had a huge run up recently. All right, let's get into it. Just quickly looking at the burn, continues to be a 0.74 offset, so that's 3/4 of all new Ethereum created is burnt still right now. And what's interesting here, much the same culprits for burning, but one that's not normally quite so high as the MetaMask swap router. And it's expensive to use the swap feature on your MetaMask wallet. You pay I think 0.75 or 0.85% per transaction, which you don't have to pay on the likes of Uniswap and SushiSwap. But everyone, of course, started using it after the possibility of a mask airdrop, and so it has done rather well there. Looking at the L2, so this is watching Ethereum scale in real time. This is the layer 2 of Ethereum, where we can see the transaction speeds increase for Ethereum effectively, and even with this poor week in the market, it's still put another 7.3% increase in TVL and out to 6.5 billion. This is really going up and to the right as a chart. It's great to see, and as I said, even with that pullback of the market selling off somewhat, because this is valued in US dollars, of course, rather than in the likes of Ethereum or Bitcoin. One big move on here is the arrival of Boba network. This is, from my understanding, is from the creators of OMG token. A lot of this is also, like half of this is made up of their token rather than actual kind of organic TVL. So money, but you can see 30% of it is still Ethereum, 20% is stablecoin locked in there. But quite an explosive increase, 1.3 billion. So suddenly the second highest L2 solution out there. We'll see if this can be sustained, but it's definitely worth keeping your eye on. Jumping up into second place so quickly. And looking at L2, I thought I'd quickly share this really cool website with you. This is ethtps.info, so Ethereum transactions per second.info. And you can see this is real time, so this will constantly be dynamically changing. And I think what you need to understand here is that this Ethereum piece is just going to get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, because obviously transactions on L1 Ethereum are prohibitively expensive. No human should be down here. This is just for other blockchains to be using, and L2 rollups. Of course, we will all have to migrate a lot of our stuff off here when gas is low. But look at Polygon, unbelievable. Look how much of the transactions we're seeing taken by Polygon. So this is, this whole box is Ethereum. This is all transactions on Ethereum, but this is what's happening on L1 Ethereum, and this is what's happening on L2. So I think, we can make it, here you go, that makes it a little clearer. This jumps around all over the place. But that's mainnet Ethereum, and this is sidechains, and there's optimistic rollup. So you can just get a feel for, we'll just let it update one more time. There you go. Just get a feel for kind of what's happening in that whole space. So this is Ethereum, but this little space here is the expensive stuff, and this is all the kind of cheaper stuff by transactions. And so it just shows us, like, if you look at these theoretical max transactions per second, Arbitrum, Optimism, they can put out 40,000, 20,000. I'm surprised Polygon's only 7,200 really. And yeah, it just shows us the actual throughput capacity for Ethereum there. Okay, so yeah, the primary kind of news this week has been that OMICRONN has spooked the markets. So this new variant of COVID, you don't need me to talk about that on here. It's not a COVID discussion channel, but it's effectively created a risk-off attitude in the markets, and it shows us that we're not separate from the TradFi markets. The crypto markets are very much correlated, and as soon as we saw the broader stock markets and commodity markets such as oil beginning to be spooked and pulling back, crypto joined very much with it. I just want to share this with you. This is looking at the Dow Jones over the last 100 odd years, and each one of these is a reason for a pullback. And I don't know if this new variant is going to be as severe as that it would be listed on this. Of course, like COVID, well, this is to 2016, but it just gives you an idea that you have to be macro in your kind of thesis and thinking about this. We'll probably see a short-term pullback. We don't know, obviously, the severity of this strain, but I think for me, the macro outlook is that it continues to sustain the status quo of this environment, which has been very favorable to cryptocurrencies. We have an extra loose monetary system where money printer goes brr, and it's only going to be exacerbated if we get further lockdowns, and the government needs to provide further handouts, and it just feels like universal basic income is just around the corner. And so actually, short-term bad, long-term good in my analysis of it, really, unless of course OMICRONN is here to wipe out 90% of humanity, but don't feel like that's happening right now. But yeah, short term, it's absolutely rattling the kind of markets, and it's making people move into cash and to safer havens. It's surprising, really, that Bitcoin isn't still considered that safer haven, and it kind of really should be. But for me, this just signals probability is more inflation, and so it will actually be good for crypto in the long term. This is a cool tweet, in my opinion. So I've been looking for data on how much developer activity there is on different crypto L1s. And you can see this is download of dev packs this week. And these are all Ethereum based ones. So just generally the Ether one, 418,000. And all these, I have no idea what they are because I'm not a developer. But then you've got these non-Ethereum ones, and you can just see, okay, Solana out in the lead, 56,000. Stellar, surprisingly, really been built on still with 23,000. But these numbers pale in comparison to Ether. And then of course, poor Cardano doesn't have a product, and so you can't build on it, really, can you? So 0. This is Binance. They're completing their Arbitrum 1 integration for L2. So if you think about the amount of volume that goes through Binance, and they are now using Arbitrum, all of this just leads to pumping up the price of Ethereum and burning more Ethereum. So this is a pretty major news for Arbitrum and ETH alone. If you haven't heard of Royal, this is a cool music blockchain project that effectively allows artists to get direct income from their music, and they just had a $55 million raise, and big names putting down the money as well. And you've got Coinbase, but you've also got artists like the Chainsmokers and Disclosure and such, and others I haven't heard of. But yeah, this, I think this is a really impressive project. It's one to have on your radar. I'm on their mailing list looking. I don't believe the token is live, and I will be interested in this one as it comes out. This is web-free alternative to Spotify, if you will, giving direct access to artists to make money from their music without the middleman. Addidas saying we've partnered with Coinbase, probably nothing. Just another corporation working towards crypto, and I just quite like the way they use the crypto native terminologies. Also, the NFL. This is just a trial project, but they're looking to launch ticket stubs on Polygon. So the idea is, you go, instead of getting your kind of actual ticket, you have a virtual NFT that represents the proof that you were at that game, and you can, it's effectively commemorative. And what that will mean, of course, is that you'll get access to, to airdrops and merch and stuff, and maybe a commemorative banner that you were at a certain game or that something happens. And this is how I kind of envisage this happening for everything from festivals to sporting events. Imagine iconic festivals from the past, like Woodstock and stuff, and you have that kind of social proof that you were at that event, and then you, of course, will then maybe get certain benefits for that, like an invite to a reunion, or again, like merch and stuff. And so, it's just another social flex, but with that, I guess with the proof that, irrefutable proof that you were at said event. El Salvador plans to build its Bitcoin city backed by Bitcoin bonds. So they're building this, the Bitcoin town around the volcano. It's just pretty full on, pretty out there. And yeah, just, I don't know, this would have been like a news article from Not the Onion a few years ago. And here we are. It's quite amazing. What have we got next? Oh, look at this shitcoin just plummeting to oblivion, and this is the Turkish Lira, and this is the 1-day chart. This isn't like a 5-minute chart. This is pretty horrific to see, and my heart goes out to those in Turkey who keep their money in Lira, and yeah, and again, it's just another case for looking at alternative assets to hold one's capital in, such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. This is a takeaway from me. If you don't follow me, Desert Island Tom, this is my handle. And I was listening to Bankless podcast, and they were talking to Visa, and I can't remember the other company, but fintech originally thought that crypto volatility was a negative attribute. Now they know it's a positive feature. Why is volatility positive? Well, it drives engagement. Users open their apps 10x, 20x, 30x more because of that volatility, and this is true. How many times do you check your crypto portfolio balance? Every day. And so, if you have all your crypto on Revolut or Robinhood or whatever it may be, of course, you are going to open that app to check your balance more prevalently. And so it's just another reason why fintech institutions are adopting. And it just helps with the inevitable, they want consumer engagement with their apps, because then you're more likely to, I don't know, whatever it may be, take out a loan, or, the more that you're on their app, the better for them. Citigroup appoints new head of digital assets for institutional clients. Eyes up 100 new hires. Institutions are coming. Popularity of crypto fund sparks growing interest from fund managers. This is just the FT. Same kind of story, basically, but Fidelity, UPS, yada, yada, yada. It's all coming. And if you, as I mentioned in my last video, Raoul Pal saying effectively that institutional hedge funds, banks have huge amounts of capital to allocate in January, and they're undoubtedly going to be looking at crypto as one of the places that they make those annual allocations towards. And so the fact that we're seeing this, all of this, the rails are paved for them to make these allocations. Morgan Stanley aren't hanging around. They're adding more Grayscale Bitcoin shares to their books. And yeah, let's get a bit more market sentiment. So fear and greed index is hitting, not extreme fear, but we're close. We're in fear. So the Bitcoin and just general crypto market sentiment is now that of fear, which generally is actually quite good for the market. It means that we're getting close to the bottom, and it's actually, you want to be using assets as an inverse correlator to when to buy and when to sell. You don't really want to be buying when we've got extreme greed in the market. You want to be buying, of course, the adage of Warren Buffett, when others are fearful, be greedy, and when those are greedy, be fearful. And so, this is just starting to become an indicator of we probably should be looking to allocate more capital into crypto if you have that dry powder. And this is just that reassuring, if in doubt, zoom out. We share it from time to time, but this is that Bitcoin rainbow chart in live in a live stream. And, you can look at this and just kind of breathe a sigh of relief. There's nothing really to worry about, is there? We're still perfectly on track and chugging along very nicely. Finally, this is a really cool website I want to share with you. It's not so crypto related, but I use it for crypto a lot. This is archive.ph, and when you want to read an article but a paywall gets in your way, well, this cheeky little site allows you to copy and paste the URL in here, and then you can read that article without the paywall. It takes a snapshot. I haven't said if you like the content, please hit the like button, and if you please comment and subscribe. I really appreciate it. We're at 1,500 subscribers now, and it's great to see that. So thank you. Please smash the like button. Okay, let's jump into the chart. So I'm going to start, I'm going to start with the total market cap of crypto. So this is obviously everything combined. This is the weekly chart, and you can see that we are we've had a pretty nasty red week for the market, and it looked like we were about to rally until OMICRONNN came and screwed us over. We're now sitting at a very critical kind of resistance line, and I don't believe we've had a daily close below it. No, we're sitting at it right now. The simple investment advice is to, kind of like that fear and greed, is to buy at resistance buy at support and sell at resistance. So, lean in when others are getting fearful and buy on that support. Of course, if you get a break of support, then that is not what you want to be buying. But generally speaking, this is a pretty tough support we're looking at right now, this 2.4 trillion market cap. It's where we peaked out and saw the weekly closes back earlier in April, May. And we failed to break here in September. Okay, sorry, yeah, and now we've broken through. In fact, we're coming back for that retest, and then we should resume up. So that's kind of where the total market cap is sitting. This is obviously very correlated to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is 42% of the total market. Let's just look at this. So this is our weekly chart for Bitcoin, and it's where everyone anticipated that we would get this strong support, is at 53,000. It seems too simple, really, if we do bounce here, but I imagine we might even get a little fake out and then a recovery. When you see this kind of noise, all this busyness here, this is typically the broader these are, the more that actually acts as a kind of long-term consolidation and support area, where you do tend to find that buyers are going to step in for you. And so if you have this in the past, this busyness, then typically it's going to help to support the market and lift it up there. If we just drill down into the daily chart on this one, you can see that really, for me, to get bullish and long again, we need to have a break of this trend line here. And we came and tested that and failed, and we're now bouncing off this support at 53,300. We'll come and make another test. I effectively can see like a little small range here for Bitcoin. We're either going to break this, or we're going to break down below the 53,000. Obviously, it has to be one or the other, but yeah, I think that we're going to get quite range bound. Hopefully, we're going to break to the upside here. But there is that fear and uncertainty in the market over this OMICRONNN. But I think, for me, the smart money will digest it as more inflation is coming. This is actually positive in the longer term for Bitcoin. So hopefully we'll see us break up. This takes us up to the 4th of December. So this is basically this week we will see an impulsive move back up. I think we probably break it back up here and have another test at 60, if I'm honest. Looking at ETH, Okay, we were just breaking, when I started this video, we were just coming down below 4,000 and we're just back to 4,050. So what I want to share with you here on Ethereum, I think this is quite interesting in my humble opinion, is as we look at, this is the daily chart. Yeah, we look at what this kind of past move here was. I think I've got this clear actually on another Ethereum chart. Give me 1 second. Yeah, this guy. So, you know, we've been in this long channel since we started that recovery from July, and we came up, and when we had this big move down and then back up again, and it feels like we're doing the same again. And what I wanted to just show you is we can take a bar pattern from this and kind of clone it. Oops, let's just do that again. Stay with me, crypto cats. This is cool. You'll like it. You'll like it. It's worth it. Hang around. And okay, yeah. So we can clone that, and then we can overlay it with here. I mean, you might not like it because obviously what this is saying is that there's a propensity that we could go further down. But you can see that the correlation is extremely close here. You know, for me, I thought we'd certainly broken out and we were heading up and that this wasn't going to happen. But now I'd be tempted to wait, you know, to have some, if you have any dry powder, if you're looking to buy, the idea of snapping up some ETH around 3,600 is well worth kind of hanging out for. So, you know, there's every chance that we follow this again, that people kind of hit that despair and we break down here, and then of course, bang, we move back up very quickly, just like we did here. So, you know, I wouldn't rule out something like this happening again, whether it's large whale manipulation or whatever it may be. And just looking at this on the kind of shorter time frame, you know, I got long here and I paid the price. It looked like a perfect breakout, just like I was showing you that line on Bitcoin. I had this line here for Ethereum, and we broke out, and it looked for all the world that we were going higher. And I think we would have had the news catalyst of OMICRONNN not derailed us, but it did, and we saw that 10% sell off quite aggressively. If I go back to my other chart, we are sitting at really quite robust support at 4,000. So we'll see. Hopefully 4,000 holds for us, and we move up. And just like Bitcoin, we're in this small range here that takes us to the 4th of December, and it'll make its mind up. Or we're going to break down here and we're going to come and test down at 36.50 or so. You know, it's just the market's murky right now. It's really hard to get a clear read of which is going to happen. So yeah, I mean they're the two scenarios for me. I think I've got some buy orders set here, just in case we do see that happen, because I think this could be quite an air pocket down here for Ethereum. So we'll see. Hopefully 4,000 continues to be a strong buy wall, and we head back up. Looking at the ETH Bitcoin, the ETH Bitcoin ratio. I love this chart. I think it's one of the best charts in crypto. And you know, we continue to see perfect correlation to this line which we've had on here for over a year now. Again, we came up and Ethereum hit its head on here and has since been rejected. But for me, the momentum is really growing. It's only really when we get that risk off environment, when there's any kind of spook in the market, do we see Bitcoin gain at all really on Ethereum. At the moment, since October, so we've had a 30%, well, right now 25% move of Ethereum gaining over Bitcoin. So we'll see. Maybe we come back down. Maybe we get another retest of this. If we do, great time to offload a bit of Bitcoin into Ethereum. But yeah, we will see. I think for me, this looks only a matter of time until this breaks out and we see Ethereum taking further market share away. And talking of market share of Ethereum, we can look at Ethereum's dominance. And Ethereum's dominance, I'll just put this on the weekly for a bit more clarity. Ethereum's dominance is 20%, and again, this has been a real strong selling area for people, for those whales holding Ethereum. But it feels only a matter of time again until we do come out and break this 20% dominance area. We haven't had a daily close above 20% for Ethereum. We're currently at 19.99 with, sorry, a weekly close with another day or so of the week to go. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. A break above here could really start to see Ethereum's dominance push up into the low 20s. So this is definitely something to have on your radar. And you can see that this is a kind of bull flag that has formed. And I think, if we do get that break, we'll probably see a rather impulsive move for Ethereum there. All right. Metaverse is the hottest ticket in town. This is the MVI index. Hopefully you watched my last video on buying the MVI on Polygon. Just a couple of things that I failed to make clear in that is that you can't send, or when you send your Polygon to your MetaMask Polygon wallet, then you do need to choose the Polygon network when sending from your exchange, like Kraken or KuCoin or Binance. Binance has suspended, or last time I looked, had suspended its Polygon network, so you couldn't do it from there. But yeah, if you don't change it to the Polygon network, it's just going to end up in your traditional Ethereum wallet. So that's just one thing to point out there. Anyway, this is versus Ethereum. The Metaverse index continues to just fly. It was up 45% versus Ethereum this week. It has given back some of those gains, up 23% versus Ethereum, as people flood for safety somewhat more. How much further can this push? I don't know. It's the hottest ticket in town. People are very excited about it. Are we a bit early on this metaverse play? I think we might be. It's very hard to know kind of which metaverses will prevail. I think for me, Sand does have the greatest network effect. There's people using it. Obviously, Mana does as well, but Sand just seems to be getting that bit more traction right now. But yeah, it's a really spicy and exciting space to be invested in. But just be careful as and when the market does turn, because they'll be the tokens that bleed the heaviest. This is DeFi versus Ethereum, the saddest chart in crypto, and we continue to bleed out further. How far can DeFi 1.0 fall versus Ethereum? Well, just seems like it's going to the abyss. We will see. There's no sign of any kind of turnaround there still. Looking at Solana, the Solana chart broke its channel. Solana had been kind of very nicely moving up in this channel, but this week we saw it lose its channel and looks like it's going to have a weekly close now out of that channel. So could spell further downside for Solana. You can see quite significant support coming in here at 174 or so. So maybe that's where it'll start to find some support and build a floor. Quite a nice area maybe to have a buy order in for Solana. And similar with Avalanche, you might want to have a buy order just above $100 for Avalanche. It's come back down and got to 101. Wouldn't be surprised if it does the same, starts to build a bit of a floor around that 100 mark or so. Oops. And that is it, Crypto Cats. I hope you found that useful. Please do like, subscribe, etc., etc. Let me know if there's anything else you want me to cover. Anyway, you think we can improve these videos, and that's it. Happy investing, and I will speak to you soon. All the best.